What's going on?
Oh man,
What's going on?
you already know. Same suit, Jerry heated. I like that intro. That music be hitting. We're doing our theme
I'm like,
song.
when I see you in the background nodding your head, I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah,
How are you doing? How you feeling?
man, I feel great. I feel great. You know,
What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Just Simply Sports here with my guy, Naughty at One Man Cave. If you have not already subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. Because we've been on here for
right?
a while now. At this point, you should have already subscribed. You should have told your friends, your cousins, big mamas,
Yeah,
aunts, uncles, everybody. You know what I mean?
I love
It
it.
is criminal at this point for you not to be subscribed to these two channels, following, leaving comments. All right? We gonna get right into it, y'all. Today is a little bit different, you guys. Typically, we do go live, but Naughty here. He has plans, so we
Yeah,
decided to go ahead and record this and then still play it for you guys, same day, same time. We didn't want to throw you guys off.
but I will be in the chat when it go live. I mean, when you play it on Monday, yeah, I
Yep,
will
I'll
be
play
in
it
the
tomorrow.
chat. So if anybody got anything to say, and you want any smoke, I will be here.
Uh
But
oh. Because
the
that was coming for
reason
you
why,
about your Kareem, a little bit, your Kareem and LeBron comments.
oh
I
yeah,
saw
yeah,
they was kind
yeah,
of coming at you. I was like, oh, snap.
oh yeah, 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 it's cool. I love it. I like it. Controversy creates cash. But I wanted people to just know that the reason why is because WWE is coming to Atlanta tomorrow. Monday Night Raw will be in Atlanta, and we're on the road to WrestleMania. So this is gonna be a huge show. It's gonna be a big show. It's gonna be exciting. And when WWE comes to town, normally I am in attendance. Especially, like a fan like myself, I usually get invited out. So I've been invited out. So I'll be in
Oh,
attendance to
y'all heard
Monday,
that he
Monday
got
Night
invited
Raw.
out.
I love it.
Invited out. He kind of bougie, y'all.
No, no, not bougie. I have
Y'all, a
my
few weeks
sign and
ago, he got his
everything.
hair redid and he was acting bougie. Now he getting invited to
Nah.
exclusive places and he getting bougie on me again. It's all right though. It's all right. It's all
Nah.
right.
I see you got your hair done. Speaking of hair, did it's different this week,
I told you, yeah, I guys, I took some new
right?
headshots. I took some new
Right.
headshots. I'm so excited.
I
I can't wait
see.
to see how they turned out. I saw some of the stills. I'm super excited.
I can hear it in your voice.
Say it-
I can hear it in your
right?
voice.
I'm so
Right.
excited.
Right.
Let's get started, y'all. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. We got some more snow coming here in New York. Kids, virtual tomorrow. My job is closed. I'm like, come on. We just got rid of the snow. It finally was all
Right.
off the ground. It's been here for weeks. We had like a nice thunderstorm. We got rid of all the snow, and then now right back to it. I'm like, oh,
Terrible.
terrible, so terrible. We're not gonna hold y'all. We're gonna get right into it. All right, we're gonna start in the NFL. All right, Lamar Jackson. I saw people going crazy about this, about him being called out
Right.
by the new OC who is the same age as Lamar. I did not realize that. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's interesting. But
I
I like
mentioned
the way
this
the
a
man
couple.
is thinking. I don't have no problem with it, y'all. I'm gonna share the screen so y'all could see, what he said. To have folks up in the tizzy, okay? Because for one, Ocho Cinco did not like it at all. He was like, "You should have called him." I don't know if y'all saw him on Nightcap. He was going ham
Yeah, I saw it.
about. You saw it. I was like, Ocho, calm down.
Right.
You really do. You need to breathe. The shit was screen. It was not that deep to me, but man, right? Mm-mm.
But when he got hired, I remember I hit you up. I was like, they got to hire the offensive coordinator that's the same age, if not younger than Lamar Jackson. I don't know how this gonna work.
Really, what you said? I remember you saying that, but all right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna scroll down. All right, scroll down. All right, because everybody was mad about a few things that he said. I'm just gonna read this. Right, you can still see me, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, all right, all right. So I'm just going to read some of it, you guys. So he was talking about the conversation around how difficult Lamar is to defend. He spoke about what he lacks, and he said he felt the challenge with Lamar for a defense is that they have to defend two plays on every play, Doyle said. They have to defend the first play that we called, and they have to defend the second element, which is him creating on his own, right? So I'm going to go down to what everybody was up in a tizzy about because it came to with him calling out Lamar in terms of expectations, right? So he reinforced in a press conference, he described Jackson as someone with a growth mindset and a hunger to learn, making it clear that the coaching staff is eager to build alongside him rather than overhaul his game. And as for off-season participation, Doyle was asked broadly about expectations for attendance during the spring program. And his response applied to the roster as a whole, but they probably took it obviously as a direct, jab at Lamar. We would expect them to be here, and certainly it is voluntary. But also, if you want to say that you're going to win a championship, certainly that's going to take work. Now, the language was plural, and Doyle acknowledged that the voluntary nature of OTAs. At no point did he single out Jackson, but people took it that he was referring to Jackson because last year
Right.
Lamar, was not present. So, what do you think? I don't think it was a direct jab to me at all, and I'm glad that just because he's young and Lamar is a two-time MVP, unanimous, so on and so forth. Expectations. We're here to win. If you want to call yourself a champion, then I would expect you to be here during voluntary workouts, any kind of workouts. What you think?
Correct. I didn't take it as a jab. I did take it as a subliminal message, particularly to Lamar Jackson. Instead of
Mm-hmm.
saying Lamar Jackson, if you say you want to win a championship, then you need to be at voluntary count. No, that's
Mm-hmm.
what he was saying, but I don't see how that's a jab. Do you want to win a championship or do you not want to win a championship?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I mean, Lamar's coming into that time. He's a two-time MVP.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been to a Super Bowl. The criticism is going to be there from it's going to get louder and louder every year that you don't get to a Super Bowl.
True.
So the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different
A
result.
different result. Mm-hmm.
Okay, 7 of the last 8 years, Lamar Jackson has not been to the voluntary workouts. The 1 year that he did go, he won his first MVP. Okay, it was a successful season. You got a new offensive coordinator who was trying to, you got to instill these new plays. You got to instill this new look, this new feel
Mm-hmm.
around the team. The leader of the team is Lamar Jackson. The rest of the team is going to follow your lead. And so the offensive coordinator, through the head coach, through the owner of the team, wants you to be in that leadership role.
Mm-hmm.
They even gave you, hey, when they were picking the new head coach, Lamar, we want you to come in. We want you to have some say so.
Mm-hmm.
You're the ultimate leader of this team now. And they're doing this intentionally because when the Baltimore Ravens don't win a Super Bowl, they're going to be able to say it's because
He
of
didn't
him.
go to OTA. He didn't go. He didn't go voluntary.
He didn't display the leadership necessary to win a championship.
Let me ask you a question though about leadership because we talked about this a little other day. If you guys were here, we were talking about KD and him being, the kind of leader that he is. People expect when you're great, you're super talented, that automatically that you should be this great leader, so to speak, of the
Right.
locker room of your team. I don't know Lamar personally, but let's just say, for argument's sake, he's the kind of leader that shows up in terms of performing on the field. Maybe he's not the kind of guy to rally the troops. You know what I mean? Like, hey, y'all, everybody, let's be out here, voluntary workouts, kind of thing. Is there something wrong with him leading by showing up in terms of his play, not necessarily with gathering the troops? Like Patrick Mahomes, for example, I saw maybe I think it was 2 seasons ago now, and it was complete off season. He had flew everybody out. I forgot where they were, just
Right.
to practice. And, before they even had off season, voluntary workouts. This was like after the season actually ended. That's what he had
Yeah.
did. But that could be the kind of leader that Patrick Mahomes is. Is there something wrong with Lamar Jackson being a different kind of leader?
Yes, he's a quarterback.
Well, there's
Different,
different ways of leading, though.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody
It's
doesn't have
different
the
ways
same
of
like
leading.
mantra.
It's different ways in leading basketball and baseball and football. You got to lead definitely when you're the most talented player on the team and you're
Hmm.
the quarterback. You don't have to be rah rah and get in guys' face and we got to do this and we got to go out there. Roo, roo, roo. You don't got to do that, but you got to lead by example. And the things I've noticed are the great quarterbacks, the Peyton Mannings, the Drew Breeses, the Tom Brady's. Tom Brady damn near got locked up during the pandemic because he wouldn't leave the parks. Guys, we working out. I know that the COVID is going on and there's a pandemic and we don't supposed to be getting together in groups, but I'm trying to
Hmm.
win. Do you want to
Hmm.
win or do you not want to win? And
Hmm.
so if Lamar Jackson really wants to win, then you have to be the leader of that football team because you're the quarterback. You're the main cog in this engine. You're the heartbeat of this team. It has to go through you. And so, yes, I don't think he can be a KD type leader, a guy who's
Hmm.
just very good and he plays his role and somebody else on the team is a leader. Lamar Jackson has to be that guy because frankly, that's who he's been. He's been a leader of that team. When the owner tells you, Lamar, you can come in and you can be a part of the decision making when it comes to comes to the new head coach. That
Hmm.
shows you right that he's showing you we believe that you are the leader. He didn't ask one of the linebackers to come in. He didn't ask the cornerbacks to come in. He didn't ask
Hmm.
Derrick Henry to come in and make your input on who the next head coach could be. He asked Lamar Jackson. That new contract they're restructuring right now in Baltimore is for Lamar Jackson.
Hmm.
So yes, he needs to be the leader that they're paying him to be, and they believe him to be.
I think sometimes people have this vision of what leadership is supposed to look like, and if it doesn't like fit into the mold that we're accustomed to seeing from previous QBs and previous, wide receivers, whoever it is, coaches, if you want to throw them in there, if it doesn't fit within like that mold, it's like that's the wrong way of leading. I saw a video, I think I sent it to you. It was I think like maybe a season ago, when they were on, I think after the first game, and I can't remember if they won or they lost on the Ravens, but I know I think it was Marlon Humphreys. He was filming, going live or something on his Instagram channel or something on YouTube, and he had the camera out on his phone. And Lamar was like, "You shouldn't be on there." You know what I mean? Like the season just started. We got a lot of work to do. So I could see that he is a leader. Now I see the same. Does I see the same kind of leader in terms of showing up to voluntary workouts? 'Cause I feel like a lot of times when you have star players who are a certain caliber, not all, but you have some who are like, "What am I going for?" You know what I mean? Like
Right.
like I'm MVP, I'm leader in rushing yards or whatever it is. I don't need to be there for voluntary workouts. Call me when the real thing starts because I don't need to be there. I feel like for me, Aaron Rodgers is like that, and I didn't like that. I think like his last season with Green Bay Packers, he didn't come to any voluntary workouts. He was doing what he was doing in the off season, and then when they weren't winning, he was on the bus. He was like, "Oh, but
Right.
they're not doing that." I'm like, "Well, dude, maybe you should have worked with them." You know what I mean? In the off season. And if you're not going to do that, then don't throw them under the bus at least. Just be like, well, we'll get better next time or whatever it is. We'll throw them under the bus, but you didn't want to show up and work out with the young man. You know what I mean? Um, but Aaron Rodgers, again, because of who he is and his accomplishments and things, he has won one to his, to his
Right.
defense, won MVP. But to me, that was still poor leadership
It
because you are
is.
who you are. Like for you not to show up and then to blame them, they don't necessarily do things what you want them to do. What did
Right.
you expect to happen? You know what I mean?
Well, and I'm glad you used Aaron Rodgers. He's a perfect example. He didn't lead the way he's supposed to be leading, and
Hmm.
the results show. But the difference is Aaron Rodgers has those 4 MVPs, and he does have that Super Bowl under his belt.
He does.
Because he had that Super Bowl under his belt, a lot of the slack that he would be getting, they let it go. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what Lamar needs. Lamar needs to at least have a Super Bowl under his belt. And that
Appearance
way,
or ring?
I mean, you at least got to have an appearance because Matt Ryan won an
Okay.
MVP and he has a Super Bowl appearance. The only two MVPs that don't have a Super Bowl appearance in the history
Mm-hmm.
is Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
So both of those guys, it's going to start getting louder and louder. Now, I agree with you that sometimes the voluntary camps are overrated. You don't need to attend all the voluntary camps, but in this situation where I got a new head coach, I got a new
Mm-hmm.
offensive coordinators, I'm gonna have new guys coming in. It is important that under this situation that Lamar shows up and stamps his leadership and let everybody know I'm the big dog. I'm the guy you follow. This is how we're gonna do things here in Baltimore going forward. Now next year, same coach, same offensive system, same offensive coordinator. He don't want to show up. He works out in Florida. He does his thing fine. But this is a brand new regime. I need Lamar to be there to plant that flag and let everybody know I'm the guy that you following out there. Follow me. I'm gonna lead you to where we need to go.
My bad, y'all know I hit mute. I was thinking of saying this to me is a prime example of people like not reading or not listening properly and a sense of entitlement. Because if you guys saw Ocho tweak out about Lamar being called out by the OC and how dare you call Lamar Jackson now? You should call him all these different things. I'm just like, just because you won the MVP does not mean that you're above criticism or
Right.
above a coach, saying, hey, you need to step up in whatever capacity that is. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of times not all players, but some, they get to this point in their careers where it's like, okay, well, he is Lamar Action Jackson. Like, how dare you say what you say in the public? You give him the courtesy of calling him directly. And it's like, why not? Why am I calling him? Why am I calling him directly? He didn't say anything bad, in my opinion, but a lot of times it just feels like you can't say certain things to certain players because of who they are, what they've won. Even if they haven't necessarily
Right.
won on the biggest stage. They have two MVPs, three MVPs, or whatever it is. Leading the season in yards or whatever have you, or they broke all these different records. And yes, you are extremely talented and you are great. But if you want to get to the highest level of levels that there is, and you want to win on the main stage, then I'm putting you on notice. Yes, it is voluntary, but if you want to win, then I expect you to be here. And let's get the show on the roll. Let's get started. Let's get to work.
Yeah, I agree
Why do
with
you
you.
why do you feel like players who have won so much feel like they can't be critiqued? Even if you haven't necessarily won a championship. We're not talking about somebody who's won like three times or even one time. He's won zero
Right.
times. So,
Right. But
Ocho, what you saying?
yeah, I mean, I totally disagree with Ocho, but I think in this situation, this is a situation where the head coach is the same age as Lamar. So Lamar is looking at like, I'm a star football player, two MVPs. You
Hmm.
not even in the league. You can't do what I do. That he probably even doubts that this guy has more football knowledge than him. This guy hasn't been somewhere where he's won. Like, what have you done? Like, I've done way more than you. My resume is way more stacked than your resume. Why should
Hmm.
I listen to you? Even though the
Hmm.
guy is making a good point, it's like
Hmm.
it's not like he's a veteran offensive coordinator who's
Hmm.
led teams to win Super Bowls. He's not
Hmm.
a Shane Steichen or someone like that, somebody who can come in and he's already known for these explosive offenses and he's won championships with these other teams. He's a guy who's 15, 20 years older, who's been around the game, who has so much football knowledge that Lamar needs to listen and learn some things from. So in this case, I feel like Lamar may feel like, I don't know if it's the truth, but I
Hmm.
could see Lamar being like, I know way more than this guy. Like he can't tell me anything. And I think you
Hmm.
have players like that. I think you have players who look at their coaches and they say, well, has he played in the league? Or what does his resume say? What has he won?
Hmm.
And that type of thing. So for each case, it'll be different for the player and the coach that is involved. But
Hmm.
yeah, some players feel like, what can this coach really tell me? What can he teach me?
I mean, I get that. I guess if if I have a certain resume, but for me, one of the things I love heard about Andy Reid, and I forgot who told the story, but he was saying that he likes to learn from whoever he can learn from. Like he doesn't like, he's not one of those like, well, you haven't been there, so I can't listen to your opinions or your ideas. And I think it was a janitor, someone said that gave him an idea for a play. He actually used it. And I actually love that. You know what I mean? Like I'm not there.
Right.
Obviously, the story that I heard, I forgot what foreign player it was, a retired player. I forgot who it was. Might have been Shady. I'm not sure. But I thought it was actually pretty dope. That he listened or was open. And I feel like that's what greatness is about. Because for me, you never stop learning. Yes,
Right.
you have been to a certain place, but if you want to keep learning, the game it constantly grows and evolves. New things are happening, different things are happening, and if you want to stay at the top, you gotta be able to adapt and not be I guess stuck in your ways that you're like, no, I got this, I know what I'm doing. You just sit there, be quiet, young fellow, kind of thing. Now Lamar, as talented as he is, I know that it might be weird when you have an OC who's young, who's the same age as you. You like, dude, really, like, who's this guy? You know what I mean? Who's this
Right.
guy? But at the same time, you haven't won. And not only that, in the playoffs, you haven't necessarily played your best. And I hate saying that because I love Lamar, but in the playoffs, you haven't necessarily shown the same way you have in the regular season. You know what I mean? We don't see the same MVP player during the regular season that we do in the playoffs. So maybe he does have something, some creative idea or some creative ideas, that can help you get, to a certain, get where you want to get, or at least make an appearance there. Don't be open minded, Lamar. Everybody
I
be open minded.
I totally agree. I mean, I believe you intelligent people. I believe they can learn something from anybody. I mean,
Hmm.
you can learn something from a 5-year-old if you just listen and
Kids always tell the
interact.
truth. That's what they're gonna do.
Right, right. You can always learn some. So I'm not saying that Lamar Jackson can't learn anything from him,
Hmm.
but I'm saying maybe that's the way he looks at it, because sometimes you gotta understand these football players, definitely the greater the player, the
Hmm.
bigger the ego.
That makes
And
sense.
that's
Yep.
a lot of the
A lot of
time
people.
that's how they become so successful, because they really believe that they're all that in a bag of chips. But every now and again, you just got to sit back and be willing to listen and learn. And really, in this situation, it's not even about learning. It's about, I have a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator. We're putting in a new system. I need to be there to, so that if I'm able to be held accountable, then all the other 52 men behind me, they should
Hmm.
have no problem being held accountable, because we got bigger fish to fry. I need to win this Super Bowl more than anybody in the league right now. It's important. And
Well, him and Josh, I think, are right there.
I'm not gonna leave any stone unturned. And that's where we at.
All right, y'all. We're gonna move on to the next topic. We all know Tyreek Hill. He was released, obviously. Yeah, pretty sure he's happy about it. I don't think he wanted to go back. If I'm
Right.
being completely honest with you, I think he was tired of Tua and the up and
He threw the
down and the playing
deuces.
and not. I think he's like, I've never seen a player so happy to be injured in my life. I mean, if y'all
Right.
remember how he looked being carted off, he was smiling like, yes, look, he was saying yes, thank God. I'm done. I'm out of here. That's the way his face looked. I could be wrong, but usually they'd be crying, on the gurney, waving, looking
Oh
sad.
yeah.
Season's over. Especially when you get older too. He was like, "Woo, see you guys." So I'm pretty sure he was happy about it. But we all know, Tyreek, he had run in, with the police officer. Unfortunately, that became a big thing. People said they felt Tyreek lied about how the whole thing went when the footage came out. We got to see it for ourselves. So, in case you guys, I'm just gonna play a little snippet in case you guys forgot what happened. And then we'll come back to what the officer said, who is now retired when he got released. Did you see what he said?
Yeah, yeah. I remember the whole incident happening, and
Oh no, not
officers
the
think.
incident. I was talking about what the officer said recently.
Oh no, I'm glad he's retired though, because he wasn't a good officer.
Keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Give me that. Get out of the car. Give me that. Break the freaking window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. 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 What part of law don't you understand? Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out, bro. God. When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand? You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you. You're a little confused. I'm getting out, bro. Too late. Too late. All right, bro. Take me to jail, bro. Do what you got to do.
All right, so just in case you guys forgot, now obviously after Tyreek said bye to the Dolphins, that same officer, he reacted, giving his opinion about what happened. Make sure y'all can see this. All right, there we go. Scroll down. Read out loud. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
we
So
hear
he posted, I guess it took a bit, but karma got you. Now that I am retired, I can tell you how I feel about you. On Twitter, you are an entitled asshole and an embarrassment to the team and the city that kissed your ass. I wish you the best and hope you are able to afford all that child support, especially now that you are unemployed. But I'm sure someone will pick you up and you will cause havoc in their team and city, just how you did Miami. Now, officer obviously felt some kind of way because he said he got a lot of backlash for doing his job. What do you think about what he had to say?
It's embarrassing. It's pathetic. I mean, and it showed in your work. That's the type of mentality you sent to your job. I have a problem with police officers who have that mentality, who think that
Mm-hmm.
way. That's why I've been against police officers getting raises. If you're gonna put the same quality police officers out on the street, then they don't deserve you. You didn't increase the quality. Why are you gonna increase the pay? You didn't increase the type of people that are gonna be out there. That's just he should be embarrassed. He should face more backlash for what he put out than the backlash he got for actually, not doing his job well. I mean, it's really pathetic and it's sad. Tyreek Hill shouldn't have been going through that. I mean, I just can't imagine Tom Brady getting arrested, headed to be the quarterback for the New England Patriots. I can't imagine LeBron James getting arrested on his way to the Lakers game to perform for the Staples Center fans. It's just terrible. It speaks volumes to the way Miami depicted Tyreek Hill while he was there. They didn't appreciate that, man, and it's really unfortunate. And I'm glad that he's healthy. He's getting back. Jalen Waddle recently said I was listening to him in the post that, man, Tyreek Hill is a freak. He's never seen anything like this before. This man is not only coming back, he's gonna be back and better or just as good as he was before. So, Tyreek Hill is one of the best wide receivers this game has ever seen. One of the best talents this game has ever seen. I will say, even though I'm being objective, Tyreek Hill is my favorite football player because of his talent. I mean, he's done things with his talent and come from where he came from that I've seen few football players been able to do. But yeah, I wish Tyreek Hill the best going forward. But this police officer is I if I was other officers, this is the kind of officer I would come out and speak against and say, no, we're not all like that. Don't depict us in the same light as this idiot.
For me, starting with what the officer said, I'm gonna go back to what happened when he got arrested. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, I didn't show the whole thing, but I'm holding Tyreek Hill accountable for the part where he was asked to roll his window down to keep it down. He rolled it back up. And then they were knocking like roll the window down, roll the window down, roll the window down. Obviously it went where it went and everything else that transpired after. There was a part of him that felt like, I think because of who he was, that he could just roll the window back up. You know what I mean? And not necessarily have to listen to what the officer was saying. And the officer, being a hothead, feels some kind of way about him. However, he thought maybe his, I don't know if he was from how familiar he was with Tyreek Hill up to that point. I don't know if he watched his games every Sunday or whatever. I'm just going to say I believe he knew who he was. But to me, the officer kind of felt like he took it personal. You know what I mean? Like when I tell you to do something, you do it. You know what I mean? We're in charge here, not
Right.
you. You know, but for me, I wonder like if he would have just kept his window down from the beginning, would it have gone the way it did? Would it have turned out worse? I really don't know. We'll never know. So for that part of what happened, I'm holding Tyreek Hill accountable. Um, Tyreek has had a lot of issues lately. I don't know what's going on. It seems to be a lot, baby mamas. I believe woman he was dealing with accused him of, I think, what she said, breaking her leg or something she was saying. Y'all don't quote me on it. There was something that happened. And then now we know he's getting divorced, and I just read that his soon to be ex wife, is mad at him for doing something. It's a lot going on with him. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's going on with him in terms of him, and the women in his life. I'm just praying that he makes some better choices, something different happens, because the optics do not look good when different things keep happening. That's the first thing. As it pertains to the officer, you're retired, sir. Enjoy retirement. I'm sure you got to retire with full benefits, and everything else. So be quiet. Like you retired for a while. You didn't just retire, when the Dolphins released him. So you had plenty of time to say what you wanted to say. You waited until I guess you feel like he was having a down moment to kind of kick him while he was down, so to speak. But I think Tyreek Hill wanted to leave, number one, so he's perfectly happy. I don't think he's sad one bit about it.
Right.
And he's extremely talented. He's won at the highest level, so there will be a team that will pick him up. And he didn't wreak any havoc, to my knowledge, when he was in Kansas City. So I don't think that, aside from the situation that happened with him and the officer, Tyreek doesn't have all these, like, to my knowledge, a long-standing, arrest history with, or relations with the police for him to make that kind of comment. I think that obviously he's in his feelings about what happened. I don't know what they said to him, fellow officers, or what he went through when that happened, who called him out, what they said to him. But it's obvious that he's been holding on to that. And he's just like, yes, now he's down. Let me go ahead and say what I got to say and get it off my chest, in this moment. And for me, I'm just like, dude, you got a chance to retire. You did use excessive force, like all that wasn't necessary. You do what I tell you to do when I say to do it. You know what I mean? Like, arrest him, take him to the jailhouse, and go on about your business. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, he's not listening, not obeying the law. Give him a ticket, and arrest him, or just and move on. But it was to me, it was unnecessary. Some of the things that he was saying, and I can tell like he's holding a crazy grudge against Tyreek Hill. And that was just kind of crazy to me and a little bit unnecessary. I'm like, dude, enjoy your retirement, enjoy your pension. I'm sure you're still getting your pension, you're still getting your benefits. So be quiet. Now, if you weren't getting your benefits and you were like sitting there like broke, getting a regular 9 to 5, I can understand you still holding on to that grudge. But you got your pension, you got your money. Be quiet.
Yeah, I mean, stop reading the newspapers. Do your job. Sometimes these officers, they're people too. They get caught up, and maybe he had the vision of this is a quote unquote bad person. So you didn't too much care for him, but stop reading that. That ain't got nothing to do with you. That don't even matter. Only thing that matters is he breaking the law? Is he not breaking the law? If he's speeding, write the man a ticket. He ain't hurt nobody, ain't wrecked nobody, ain't killed nobody. He don't got weed smoke coming all out the car. Ain't none of that. Throw the man a ticket. Let him deal with it in the courts.
He took that personal. He took it personal. He said, roll the window down.
Yeah,
he rolled it back up. He was like, oh.
Because a black man got more money than him. Right. This black man got more money than him, got a better car than him, and probably living out his football playing dreams. Bruh, get over it. It is what it is. Let that man go play football for the team. He the best player on the team. They need him. This is inexcusable. The city of Miami should be ashamed of themselves for what happened in that incident, and I think they were. So I don't think it's a coincidence that this officer is now retired.
They probably forced him into early retirement. I believe so. I was like, yeah, you should. But for me, you still got to retire with your pension, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
And your benefits.
They looked out.
Take that and be quiet. Like more times than not, when they force you, or they're like, oh, well, your officers are suspended pending investigation with pay, right? More times
Right.
than not, the answer is yes. So meanwhile somebody else is unalive, but here you are sitting at home watching TV, getting some time off, being paid to do so. So but that's typically how it always goes. But I will say, to athletes, public figures, if you want to call it that, everybody don't care about you having a lot of money in your account. They don't care about your popularity. They have that badge. A lot of them use it, as a shield of armor, so to speak. They feel they're
Right.
untouchable, and more times than not, they are, because they never really get held accountable. So you got to be smart. You really got to be smart, because some situations where you don't want to abide by the law, you don't want to answer questions, like they can use that and take it to do something else. So you really got to be careful. I'm just glad that because he was Tyreek Hill, and then I think I forgot who else of the player that came that saw what's going on. What was his
Yeah,
name?
yeah.
Hey, um
The big lineman who Calais
yeah,
Campbell.
but
Calais
yeah,
Campbell was there.
so when you, because of who he is, what I mean? I think if he had been a regular, like, nobody who was speeding, he might have gotten, like, a lot worse would have happened, you know what I mean? So in terms of
Right.
how they treated him. So, that's just something that I think everybody gotta be aware of. Even if you're not a celebrity, like, you gotta be mindful. They don't care. These
Right.
officers do not care.
You're correct.
All right, y'all. We're gonna move on. We're gonna go to the NBA. NBA, you guys. I have my MVP. Well, I have my two MVPs.
Oh,
All
you
right.
do?
We're gonna talk about it real quick, okay? Like, MVP race, we're in the second half of the season. We saw the Pistons put that belt to ass against the Knicks the other night, okay?
They
And I
did.
mean, they were down. Jalen Duren, no Stewie, no beef stew. But Cade said, no problem, because you got me. So, like, they put on, again, it's like the third time they beat them, honestly speaking. So at this point, they got them in the regular season. Now, playoffs something different, because, in the playoffs, everybody kind of switches it up. They start playing harder, all these different things. But for right now, the Pistons are owning the Knicks, and I'm saying that here is New York, guys. It is what it is. But who do you have right now? Who are your top two candidates for MVP?
My top two candidates would be the Joker.
What?
Yes. I would have the Joker. He's the best player in basketball, and I just believe the best player in basketball should win the MVP. I know he missed like 3 or 4 weeks of action, um, which is it is what it is. But man, since he's been back, he's been outstanding. I would say that. So definitely, I have the Joker. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's a few guys that I think are playing really well. I like Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown has been holding it down. I think Cade
Mm-hmm.
Cunningham has been excellent in what he's doing up there in Detroit. And he also got, SGA. But if my second guy, I probably would go Jaylen Brown because of what he's been able to do with a
Mm-hmm.
Celtic team that pretty much dismantled their team this offseason. You got rid of Porzingis, you got rid of Holiday, and then Jason Tatum has been out the whole season, and everybody expected the team to fold.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do? You elevated your game, and you
Mm-hmm.
kept your team as one of the best teams in the East. And honestly, they have a legitimate chance of going all the way to the finals without Jason Tatum. So I definitely think Jaylen Brown definitely deserves some consideration. But before anybody else, I just think the Joker is the best player in basketball, and he should be the MVP once again.
I like the Joker, but I can't say anybody is the best when you only play on one side of the ball. For me, you got to play offense and defense when you say you're the best in the league. But in terms of MVP race, because that's a different conversation, for me, it's Cade Cunningham and it's Jaylen Brown. When I think about most valuable player, I look at who you are, how you make your team better, um, obviously your availability. You know what I mean? Have you been playing? Pretty much the whole season. Who you're winning with, and look at your record. When it comes to, I'm gonna start with Detroit. Cade Cunningham has a lot on his shoulders. Honestly speaking, outside of Cade, if Cade is having an off night in terms of his him shooting or his assists, who
Right.
else do they really have? You know what I mean? Like, it pretty much, he sets the tone. It starts, and for me, it kind of ends with him. That's no slight to anybody else in their team. I like Darryn. I like Stu, like what they bring. I love them Thompson twins. Okay, like I love Asar.
Oh yeah.
I love the coach. I love their identity, their toughness. I love the fact that Tobias was like, I don't even want no help guarding Cat. I got this. No double team, nothing. I got this. I got him. You know what I mean? So I love their I love their fighting spirit, right? But for me, they don't have they have a Batman, they don't have a Robin, in my opinion. And Cade, being who he is, he's still he's gone up a notch this season. And so much so that they are leading the East, and he doesn't have
Yeah.
the same offensive help as some other teams have in the East and the West. So for me, I have to put him in that conversation. Winning does matter. And I'm looking at what he's done and who he's done it with. More importantly, he shows up. Night in and night out. He's available. And then there's Jaylen Brown. And I'm just reiterating what you said. They did expect him. They stripped that team. They took away Al Horford, Drew Holiday, Kristaps, although Kristaps was in and out anyway. And then JT, not there. And so many questions surrounding those two. Like how will Jaylen look? Can he be the number one, option on the team? JT is this, but can Jaylen Brown do that? And they started off they started a little bit rocky, but since the beginning of the season, they have gone off. I think the number two in the East, I believe now at this point, if not number two, number three. And for me, him being shipped the way he was, and pretty much having new people around him, or should I say, having the players that were the second unit kind of be a part of the first unit now. And it was a lot on his shoulders, like in terms of can he get the job done, and he has. He's stepped up his level of play. All star. For the first time in his career, again, very much deserved. So for me, those two, they have to be the top two. Now, would I put SGA in the conversation? I don't know. I look at also when certain players are not out, how your team performs. And just you up the Joker, I use him as an example. When the Joker wasn't out, the Nuggets actually they won quite a handful of games. It wasn't like they went on the whole like losing streak and they like didn't win anything without the Joker. You
Right.
know,
Right.
and the Joker is so gifted offensively. It almost looks like he's not even trying when you watch him play.
Yeah,
Like he
it's
just looks like it's
amazing.
just so effortless. I will give him that, but I have to. For me, those two have to be at the top, and the number one, number two in the conversation before anybody else. SGA is SGA. And I love SGA as well, especially the way he dressed, y'all. I love his fashion. But when it comes to MVP, those are my top. Those are my top two. I can't put anybody above those two. And I wouldn't
I,
be mad if either one of them won.
yeah, I feel you. I be because I think Joker should have won it last year. He averaged a triple
Yeah.
double. He's the first big man to average a triple double. It's great. And guess what? He's averaging a triple double this year. The man is averaging 29 points. He's
He
leading
is
the
a
league in
yeah. He's
rebounding.
a walking triple double. Yeah.
Right. He leads the league in rebounding at 12 and a half. And he
hmm
leads the league in assists at 10 and a half. And
hmm
he's shooting 41% from the 3-point line. I mean, and there's been no Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon has been out. Now, when
He came
the
back
joke,
a few times and he
when,
left
right,
again.
when the
hmm
Joker was out, the team they didn't sink, they didn't flounder. But
Peyton stepped up big
yeah,
time.
Payne stepped up, Jamal Murray stepped up, got himself
hmm
a first time All Star appearance.
hmm
Um,
Tim
but
Hardaway, stepped up a little
yeah,
bit there.
he's there. He's solid. He's a solid vet. Bruce Brown is back, which is solid. I mean, they got some. Even Christian Brown is pretty good. They got a good team. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of
Yeah,
that they were beating up on the bottom feed like the Sacramento Kings and some of these bottom dwellers. You gonna beat those guys. And so they were able to stay afloat because the schedule was favorable in that time that he went out. But I just he's my favorite player to watch. Out of everybody else in the league, all these other guys, they're great. Cade has been great. Jaylen Brown, ATL all day. He's great.
Oh, and
But
just so we're clear today, they did lose my Warriors, y'all. I don't know if y'all saw that.
yeah.
Okay.
I saw that. I saw they lost. They
Steph,
gave up.
you
They
saw
gave
my
up a
guy
whole.
Pod. My guy
Yeah,
Pod stepped up.
Yeah, they gave up a lot of points because a lot of times my only problem with the Denver Nuggets is they don't emphasize defense. They usually just outscore people. They're averaging like 120, 124 points a game. So usually they can just outscore teams. But in order to win a defense, they're gonna have to buckle down and be. I mean, in order to win a championship, they're gonna have to buckle down and play better defense. That's gonna have to be something that the coach emphasizes going down the stretch because if you're not gonna play any defense come playoff time, everybody can score. You're only going to be playing good teams that's going to have a score or two or three. So, but yeah, I just think, like you said, the Joker makes it look easy, and because of that, I definitely. But I can't argue with Cade Cunningham, and I can't argue with Jaylen Brown either. They're having outstanding seasons, and they are well deserving to win the MVP as well.
There's still plenty more time left, plenty more games, so we're gonna see how it all fares up, obviously. But for me, right now, if I had, early voting or whatever, those two for me, I can't even decide who I would pick between the two, if I'm being honest. But for me, those two are number one and number two for me. SGA is in there, I would say top five for sure. But SGA is SGA, right?
Right,
Like
right,
you
exactly.
come to expect certain things from him, and his team also, when J Dub is back, because he was out for a little bit, but J Dub back in the
Yeah,
lineup without SGA, the team is strong enough to still go on and still win games. They do have talent, Mitchell has stepped up big time, this season, from last season also, so and now they have my guy Jared too. They got Jared there. I love Jared McCain,
yeah,
y'all.
yeah.
So
He
I love how you cut me off. Yeah, yeah, uh-huh.
yeah, he
So,
ain't really. He's not really a factor, but they do got him.
but he could shoot his tail off. Stop playing with it, all right? And that's they he come in and give you back to back threes if needed. He's not a defender, okay? Like he's not one for defense, but he can shoot. They got enough defense on that team, I think, for the most part. So he could fit in, and they do a lot of TikToks too, So he gave him a little TikTok team.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see how his career goes. I don't expect much.
You can't compare the TikToks and the nail polish. As the
No,
way these athletes are going nowadays, you know what I mean? They are the next tier of greatness is going to be with athletes I've come to realize who wear skirts, who paint their
no, it's
nails,
never gonna happen.
and who do TikToks.
It's
That's
never
the
gonna
way it
happen.
really seems. That's the way
No,
it
it's
seems.
it's never gonna happen. You got a few guys out there who like that, and they're not great.
I said as the time goes on.
I
I'm
don't
not
believe that's
saying,
gonna happen.
because honestly, the way like it's trending, the way like the athletes coming out now, they're a lot softer. Mentality is very, very different.
Yeah,
How they carry themselves is different. The whole thing is just different. Generation is just different.
it's
You know what I mean?
political. I
That
hate
too.
it. It's political, and they came up during a time where the politics and the guy who was in the White House was passing all them laws to help them people. But now you got a president who knows the difference between a woman and a boy, and they're putting that. So the next generation is not gonna grow up the same way as this last generation grew up. Not fully, not with all the rights and the ability to do
Mhm.
that. So yeah, I just think it's sad. You know, our men are becoming too soft, and in a society with a bunch of soft men can't sustain itself.
We going we going I'm going to this last topic, y'all. We'll come back to that one though a different time. All right, y'all. I don't know if you guys are following the draft. You guys follow college players. I do because I have a son that does. And Darryn Peterson, DP, a lot of conversation around this young man. Oh man, he's so talented. Arguably, he should go number one. Maybe him, maybe AJ, depending on the team. That
Right,
what they need. You have
Boozer.
Caleb in there as well. Yeah, and you got
Right.
Boobs. So I think those four for sure are going to be top four. I think it just depends on which team goes first and what they need and who they want. But I don't think you can go. I don't think you could go wrong at all with either one of them. But Peterson specifically has, a lot's been going on with his health. He's been there, he's not been there. There's been some cramps, flu-like symptoms. And then the other day he did this, and people were like, okay, I cannot trust him. So I'm gonna get your take on this real quick. Share my screen. It's almost time for March Madness.
Yes, almost that time. Might be interesting this year.
I like AJ, but honestly speaking, I don't think he makes anybody around him better.
He got to be on
I
the
think he's very
team.
good. I think he's very good individually, but I don't
Yeah,
know how it
he-
translates into the
he'll be
team.
good for a team like the Hawks, where you got Jalen Johnson, who makes other people better, and he can just play a role, and that role could be scoring in volumes.
Hold on, play real
23
quick.
points in only 18 minutes, but only minutes into the second half. It appears he subbed himself out and didn't return due to apparent. Darryn Peterson is being called out again, this time for allegedly benching himself. Peterson was lighting up Oklahoma State, dropping 23 points in only 18 minutes, but only minutes into the second half. It appears he subbed himself out and didn't return due to apparently cramps. He continues to miss games and time, and it sounds like even head coach Bill Self is getting a bit frustrated.
I didn't anticipate that tonight at all. I thought he was good to go. That's disappointing because he could have had a really big night. It's happened often enough that our guys have learned to play without him.
Darryn Peterson is...
All right. Now keep him. Oh, I removed you by accident. My bad. Keep in mind, you guys. This is the night after he had just missed some games because of flu-like symptoms. So he had just come back in this game, and then he was going off, and then just subbed himself out. This is what I'm saying when I'm saying these next generation of players are different. You know what I mean? If I'm a GM, an owner, as talented as he is, I don't want nobody coming here on my team who has. I need somebody who wants to play. You know what I mean? I know he loves basketball, but I can't have somebody who hasn't even gotten to the next level yet subbing themselves out in the game. Like, we know how talented you are. I think because he knows that he's gonna go somewhere in the top 5, like this, I don't think he's gonna drop, to the second round kind of thing because of how talented he is. It's kind of almost kind of like abusing it in a sense. You have a whole team here. You know what I mean? Like you got a scholarship, you got opportunity. You getting paid. Like treat it with the respect and the integrity that it deserves. And it's one thing if you really can't play and you're really hurt. You know what I mean? But don't play and okay, I'm out. Put somebody else in, coach. And it's just wait, what? Where they do that at? That's what I'm saying. These new generation of athletes are just so it's so crazy to me. And what's going on? We're kind of taking advantage now of how talented you are. The money that you're being paid. It's what are we doing? For me, if I'm a GM, I'm an owner, I'm looking at you a little bit different. What about you? Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few guys like this before.
I don't like it at all. I don't care who.
I don't like it. I've seen a few guys like this before, and the last guy I seen like this in college was Ben Simmons at LSU. And I told everybody then I would not take him on my team. Ben Simmons could not play for me. He doesn't love the game of basketball enough to be on my squad. And look what happened to him. Look what he turned out to be. And I think this is a red flag for a guy like Darryn Peterson, who, like you said, he's not going to drop out of the top 5. He's going to be in the top 5 because every NBA coach believes that they're the guy that can turn that switch on. They're the guy who can make him want to be great. And the truth of the matter is, either you want to be great or not. I saw LeBron James, I saw Kobe Bryant in high school, and I could tell, hey, that guy right there, he wants to be great. He wants to be one of the all-time best. And that's what it's going to take. Michael Jordan at North Carolina, you could tell this guy wants to be one of the all-time greats. And I don't waste my time on players like Darryn Peterson. Once I see that you don't want to be one of the best, you don't want to be all-time great, that it's not important to you, then I started out, what is he willing to sacrifice? He's not going to be willing to sacrifice it all to get it all. So I'm as of this point, from when he did what he did, I'm not even interested in Darryn Peterson anymore. He's off my radar. He's gonna have to really grind, shine, and get back on my radar because I don't deal with players who, once I count you out for being the great, like having you in that category, I'm done with you. I don't care to watch you. I don't care, about your success. I don't care about any of that. And I just don't think he loves the game of basketball enough to warrant my to warrant my interest.
I will say, Gil was talking about him. He was comparing him. I think when he played against AJ. I forgot it's BYU. And nevertheless, I forgot how many points. I'm thinking about the points they both ended with. But his son Elijah obviously plays basketball. And he was saying that Team USA camp that was his roomie. He was talking about him, and he was just saying that he loves basketball. Like he eats, sleeps, breathes, everything basketball. But I feel like there's something that's happened now, like where kids go from loving basketball, loving football, whatever it is, and then when they get to the point of making money, NIL deals, and their popularity kind of goes through the roof, that love, I don't want to say is lost, but I feel like it's kind of suppressed in the sense where you kind of feel like I'm him, you know what I mean? I'm him, at least in the college and high school world, not so much NBA just yet. You know, if he has, for me, the biggest concerns are his injuries. He seems to be injury prone. Illnesses. Hamstring. I don't know what's going on with him. That's the red flag for me. Him taking himself out though, I'm like, just don't play. If you really don't feel up to it because you're hurt, you don't feel well, whatever's going on with you medically, then just don't play. But don't show up like that and then quit on the team. And just pull yourself out. Because now I'm looking at you like this is a team sport. It's not an individual sport. Do you care about your teammates? Are you going to show up night in and night out? If you can't, because you really can't do it, because your hamstring, your groin, whatever it is,
Right.
but don't just show up and then just quit like that in the middle. And your team is sitting there like, what? Like, what's going on? Because as a coach, and they're like, well, he's going to come back in he's going to come back in next game, and he's going to be a starter like he normally is because he's talented, and they're paying him to go there. But it's that for locker rooms. I'm just like, what we doing, coach? Like, we
Yeah.
just quit, we just walking out in the middle of games like that.
Right. That's my biggest issue with it is communicate that with the coach. Let the coach know, hey coach, I'm not feeling well. I got a cramp or something, whatever, and let the coach pull you. Let the coach, because now what you done, you undermine the coach, and now how's the coach? Everybody's gonna be looking at the coach like, oh, so we just can pull ourselves out and put ourselves in when we want to.
Yeah, everybody can't do that though.
Right. If I was the coach,
no follow suit.
If I was the coach, he couldn't play next game. I don't give a damn how he felt. I'm gonna take basketball away from you. We're gonna win. We're gonna get in the tournament anyway. Do you want to play basketball? Do you not want to play basketball? That's what we need to have that conversation. I'm not playing you. You're not gonna undermine me. You're not gonna pull yourself out without letting me know, coach, I got something going on. I got an issue. I need to come out. And then the coach can say, that was my decision to take him out. Not he pulled himself out the game, and that made the coach look bad. Right. That makes the coach look bad. And how can the other players respect the coach when you got a guy who can pretty much do whatever the hell he want to do whenever he want to do because he is who he is and he gets paid what he gets paid? Well, if that's the case, NCAA don't need college coaches, and they damn sure don't need college coaches making more than $5-10 million a year. No, I don't need no. We don't need the coach. We just need recruiters.
What's made me think about it just now before we get out of here really quickly. Did you see the UCLA coach when he sent his own player to the locker room? Everybody was mad at what he did with his own player. Like he ejected him from the game after a play. Did you see it?
I didn't see it, but I applaud that coach.
But everybody was like, that's what I was saying. I feel like there's no medium, right? If a coach, allows a superstar player, so to speak, to play, then it's like, dude, the locker room. And if they're like, they're like, no, I'm not tolerating that foolishness. You can get up out of here. It's like, wait, what you doing? Like, don't treat your own player like that. Well, it's like there's like no middle ground. It seems
right, and that is a problem. The problem is the parents of these kids. You can't talk to these kids no more. You can't discipline other people's kids no more. They just allowed to run roughshod on everybody else. Hell, even in their own home, they talk their parents in the kind of way, treat their parents in the kind of way because the laws say you can't do X, Y, and Z. But I just came up in a different time where a coach gonna coach. Definitely with the males, like coach can beat your ass if it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? But and you didn't run home.
I'm gonna play it while you're talking. Go ahead.
And you didn't run home and tell your parents everything that went on in practice. Whatever happened in practice happened in practice. I never one time went home and told my mom the coach, well, we had the incident in the locker room day and the coach had to come out with a 2x4 and he was
You
hitting
see it?
people with it. You know, no, I don't see it yet. But we didn't go. Oh, I did see that play. I saw that play. That was a dangerous play by that player.
Playing football and a foul. Cooper's foul from behind, and now Cooper is up and in Jamerson's face.
Yeah, that was a very dangerous play. And before he loses it, the coach need to get him out. The coach has to protect this player. The best way to protect your player. Yes, that's what coaching is supposed to be about.
They did enjoy their time here.
But there was he caught some flack for it. Honestly, I had no problem with what he did. You know, before the refs get involved, you know what I mean. I'm setting the tone. We're gonna win, but I don't like dirty plays. I always said that. You know what I mean. In any sport, you play hard, you know, but intentionally hurting someone to the point of where they can go to the hospital, and I don't agree with that. I've always said that. But I like what the coach did. You know, you get up out of here. You know, like what we doing here? You know, bye. Have a good night.
That's good coaching. But like I said, these parents get, you know, because a lot of these players, unfortunately, their parents invest in them. When you invest in something, you're expecting a return on your investment. A lot of these parents, right? A lot of these parents are, you know, they're waiting for their child to become a cash cow so that they can take care of them, you know, as they get up there in age. So, you know, they'll be willing to do anything to protect that. And they almost act like the child is them, because the child in a lot of ways does represent them. So there's no accountability for a lot of these young players because these parents don't allow their kids to be held accountable. And so things are getting out of control. It's unfortunate.
I will speak really quickly just from the parents' perspective because I have a very, very, as I told you, like very headstrong 15-year-old, y'all. And it's not easy, you know. Everybody's parenting is different, you know. Some people are very, very like tough disciplinarians. And I say all that to say, like, you can instill right or wrong in your kids. You can spank your kids, you know, beat them if you know that's what you do in your household. Yell, curse, gentle parenting, if you want to call it that. But when kids get a certain age, they got their own mind. Like, it's only but so much talking and reasoning and explaining and yelling and punishment that's going to affect them. Real talk, you know. You just gotta. So I'm saying this. I don't know how he grew up or whatever, but he got to UCLA, so something was done right enough for him to get where he is. But you know, I don't know if he got anger issues, if he got a bad temper, if this is just I don't follow that player, so I'm gonna give him grace. And this is the first time that he did it, you know, that kind of play. Maybe it's not a habit of his. Maybe he's got caught up, you know, in trying to block the play. You know, if it happens again, then I'm looking at him like, okay, what's going on? Is there like an anger issue here? You know, but sometimes you know you make mistakes, you know, and you do things you shouldn't do.
I had no problem with that.
I just don't want to blame parents. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people don't have good parents. Sometimes you do, and you still don't do the right thing.
Right. Well, in the UCLA situation, I really don't have a problem with the player. I mean, yes, the play was quote unquote dirty, or you know, he was playing hard, and sometimes it goes bad. But when the coach directed him to the locker room, he went to the locker room. He didn't fight at the coach. He didn't tell the coach, "This is not what I'm about to do. I'm gonna do this." So you know,
imagine if he did, that would have been even worse.
Right. Then you have a problem. But in the Darryn Peterson case, where you taking yourself out the game, that's a lot worse than what that UCLA player did, in my opinion. Yeah. You know, because you usurped authority. And the truth of the matter is, and we talked about it earlier when we were talking about Tyreek Hill situation, it's going to be situations that you're going to get into where it's not going to be wise to usurp authority. You know, like the coach is the authoritarian figure in this situation. And so he can put you in the game, he can take you out the game, he can make you a great player, or he can take away your career. You know, maybe on the college level, you know, the money has gotten so big that these coaches really don't have much to do. much power. But on the next level, you're not gonna be able to do. They don't give a damn about you. If these players believe that the NBA, the NFL, the major leagues, they give a damn about you, you're not gonna come there and run their program. You're not gonna stop their show. You can be replaced. They'll replace you in a heartbeat. It's no problem. And then the media will write the story that you were the problem. You were a head case, and you weren't a good person. And this is why this guy.
You weren't a good person.
They'll create a whole documentary about why this player right here, he failed to reach his potential. And they're gonna move on to the next guy. It's no problem.
True. All right, you guys. We're gonna get ready to get up out of here. We'll be back hopefully next Monday live. If Nye doesn't have any more and things, he's not invited to any more exclusive events, red carpets and things, and leave some time for me here on a Monday. We'll see. But if not, we'll get him where we can fit in on his busy schedule. Anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
The fight was great. Last night.
I'm really a boxing fan.
The Clarissa Shields fight.
Who won?
It's tonight, but tomorrow.
Tonight. Okay.
It'll been great. Hopefully, I could say Clarissa Shields. She did the job. She knocked the girl out. It was a great fight. She
annoys me sometimes. I'm like, girl.
Yeah, but they boxers, they gotta sell a fight, and definitely for a woman to sell a fight, it's very difficult. So sometimes you gotta even go even further than the men would do to sell a fight. So I try not to give women too much flack when it comes to that kind of thing, because I just know that the road that they gotta go through to try to get.
I'm just talking about how she carried herself in terms of her relationship with Pep. I'm like, girl, we get it. Sit down.
But see, this is what I'm saying. This is what keeps her in the news. This is why I'm saying the WNBA need to do. Unfortunately, when it comes to women, drama sells. And Clarissa Shields has figured it out that she has a lot of drama around her, whether it's her family saying that she doesn't help them enough, and that, or if it's Papoose, if it's Remy, she got enough drama around her to keep her relevant, to keep people wanting to see her fight. Either they want to see her knock somebody out, or they want to see somebody finally step up and knock her out. And what it does, it gives her big paydays. She gets paydays like the men get paydays. And if that's what, if women want to be in that light like that, they want to get that pay like that, they're going to have to be open to sharing some type of drama in their life, because again, controversy creates cash. And
I didn't like the disrespect
that's the American way. Yeah, I didn't like, but I didn't like either one of them. But I think I think they were in cahoots together. I think Ali was doing that to help Clarissa continue to gain some sort of notoriety, keep the talk going, to help her get the paydays that Ali wasn't able to get when she was boxing. And she was the best thing going for a decade.
Yeah. Women's sports in general is just moving, it's growing, it's evolving, it's changing, So I get what you're saying. But all right, you guys, we'll get up out of here. See you guys soon. Have a wonderful night. You enjoy your event tomorrow.
Yes, right. And I'm in the chat. Y'all see me in the chat. I'm talking to y'all all night. Come at me. I come back at you. It's all good. It's all love and nothing personal, just sports. One man cave. And we on the road to WrestleMania, baby.
All right, you guys, on that note, good night. Peace up.